Right. Hello, guys. Hope you're well. As usual, I will wait a few more minutes before I start the session, the trading room. I see that some people are already joining the session. Always appreciate people being on time. Let me know if the sound is good, if the video is good, if everything works well. And then I will start the session. Again, I like to come Monday and speak about the market. Last week happened a lot of things. So yeah, going to be interesting. If you have any any subject that you want to discuss and that you want maybe more details, let us know on the chat. Maybe we can find a subject to interact together. Even I have already the plan about what I'm going to talk today. I see a lot of people on the chat. That's nice. Hi Brahim, hi Maurice, Farid, hi Lucio, hi Jonathan from UK, from Rome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Ibrahim, congratulations if you passed the phase 1 of the bootcamp. You have to wait 24 hours. If you have any questions, you can ask the help desk team. So here we are going to talk about the market, not much about the rules. So maybe you can go to the desk team and ask what's next for you. Gabriel, good morning. Okay, guys. Some few updates about the market. We had yesterday the results of the French election. I'm French, so I know a little bit the politics there, but for people that not living in France and don't know what's going on, there was Emmanuel Macron that was the president for 5 years against Le Pen, that is more extreme right, and she's want less an open economy, and if she passed, actually she didn't, but if she had passed yesterday, this had high repercussion on the euro. Actually, it's Macron, so it's also expected that Macron passed. He wants open economy. He wants to bring some new economic, let's say, economic ease on the Europe side. So it's good for the euro. But again, you see this morning that the euro dollar, for example, opened all the euro pairs and goes open like lower. And I believe that generally, if the French president Emmanuel Macron that want to do good things for the Europe, so you might expect an increase in the euro dollar. But actually, if I just share the chart, you will see that it shows exactly the opposite. If you go to the H4, let me share you the chart. Okay, so this is the chart. Actually, the market open, the market. Yeah, so it's actually open here, and then we had 100 pips down. Okay, the market already priced the fact that Emmanuel Macron would actually pass the French election. It's something that the market already expected, so that's why you see the opposite movement that you could think before. But again, on the euro dollar, there are other things that are much more important than the French election that can influence. We have the dollar that is very strong again, and we will talk a little bit after about the indices. There are actually big moves in indices. We'll talk it in the next few minutes about what's going on in China and in general. But that's actually leading the euro dollar, for example, going down. The dollar is very strong. We'll have a look at the dollar index as well. But here, actually, the market on the London session is quite recover from the 100 pips lower. Again, if we make like a short analysis, we analyzed on last week that there was this zone and this zone. Can we just get rid of all the other indication? Okay, so last week we identified on the H4. Yeah, maybe on the H1 it would be even more easier for you to look at that. But here on the H1, we analyzed that there was this supply here, this zone that is very strong and probably getting very difficult to pass above. And there is this demand. Okay, so we identified here a demand, very clean. There was not much, you know, big bounce and big ups and down last week. Here the market react, touch the weekly supply zone, getting down again. And actually didn't actually respect this zone, as you see on the daily chart. The euro dollar is all the time going lower and lower. Actually, the market is starting to recover. We might be here interesting to find for actually a short if you want to go with the market. Actually, you have your supply, fresh supply that can be hit. So you have to check at this supply zone. Okay, so this is actually for the euro dollar. For people that are in the Discord, I invite you to participate in a game that's called Chart of the Week. Okay, we have a channel on the Discord. Then we post one time per week a chart, blend chart of H1, for example, and everyone is publishing his ID, and it's always good, you know, to share your ID with other traders in the fund. You can find all the analysis and why they think about the market. It's always good, you know, to compare about what you think and what other things, and it can also give you other indications. It can also help you, and you can also help other traders to share your vision about one of the pairs. So I invite you to interact. Okay, last week it was the euro dollar H1, and for this week is the gold. How can I get in the Discord room? In the dashboard, you have a small icon on the top right side. You can click to the Discord logo, and you will get an invite link. Okay, but if you don't find this link, you can send an email to the help desk, and they will give you the link for the Discord. For people that didn't join the Discord yet, I invite you to join it. It's a very good communication channel. We have a lot of people asking questions, interact together. So here, that's one of our projects, Chart of the Week. We discuss together. It's always fun, always great to discuss trading with other traders. So this is for the euro dollar, guys. We break actually this morning the demand that hold for almost 2 weeks here. But again, on the weekly, we are actually in the zone. You see, it's still in the zone for me. We are still in the bottom of the demand. Myself, psychologically, I don't want to open a short position. That's psychological. Maybe you will find any short to make. Personally, I won't. I see that the market, you see on the weekly chart, went down almost 1,500 pips. Let's say straight away it went down, and I don't want to cut my leg by opening a short here, as we see most likely that the market already makes the move on the lower side. If I do anything on the euro dollar, it will be only a buy. Of course, I have to manage the position. I managed a position last week by opening a buy, especially at the opening here. I reinforce also here. The market moved up. I moved my stop loss to break even. I took some partial profit here at the top, but that's what I will do. Maybe I will suffer by doing this and by opening buying and long on the euro dollar, but that's how my mind works. Okay, I don't want to open a short. That's how I feel. I still believe in the next year that the dollar will still depreciate, but we have to be very careful to manage, and maybe at some point I will understand that making some long will not be the relevant side to go. Of course, as a trader, you can make short, you can make buy, but actually at this time, I'm not being comfortable by doing some short. Maybe you guys are comfortable by doing short. I'm actually not. Even you see on the daily chart, it's only going down. But yet, I will only focusing on finding some opportunity to make a buy on the short term, on the long term, as we are here in a big zone, in a big demand zone. Okay. And on the 3 minutes. Yeah, this is the monthly. Okay, you see, even if we go back to 2014 here, we are actually all the market stands. So that's why in the long term, I don't want to over risk. I have a question for you. The maximum lots for the freestyle is per open pair or combined open pair. There is no maximum lots, Barry. But if you have any questions, please ask the help desk. They will answer your question very fast, and they give you like a detailed answer, so you can ask the help desk. So this is for the euro dollar. Let's talk about some news that we had. We know that in China, I don't know if you heard about it, guys, but China probably want to lock down Beijing because COVID is coming back, and people want to avoid. In China, they have a politic of having zero COVID. So if they believe that the COVID is starting to getting more influent, they want to close all the city or maybe all the country. Okay, China is a big country, a big consumer country, a big producer as well of technology components. So you see that the stock markets went down, and you see that oil also went down, and we'll talk in the next 5 and 10 minutes about it. I just want to share trading view. We will start by talking about the S&P. That is the capital market that actually tumbles after the news that Beijing probably going to close Beijing. Let me show you the chart right now. Okay, this is the S&P. Friday went down, let's say more than 1%, 1.5%, I think, to 4,300 to 4,250. Yeah, that's approximately 1%, even more than that. And still, the market is still starting to. This is still the future market is trading this morning, but still. And I think I already told and explained this fact on last Monday on the weekly forecast that China is going to be the main, let's say, key driving for the next months on the capital markets. As you know, China have a big influence in the stock markets in US, also the importation of oil, and I will show you the chart of oil just after. So the macro environment is not so good in China. Still, we have technically we have a very good demand zone here at 4,180. But still, from here to here, it's a sharp movement on the downside, especially because of China. So we have to take care about that. About oil. Let me show you. Okay, this is the daily. if I show you, let's say to the H4. I can't hear. Let me know if you hear me good, guys. I don't know if it's Cron issue or if it's the microphone actually. I still think that everything is working well. Let me know in the chat. It's okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you for the feedback. So this is all. So we had here the demand zone actually on the 12th of April respected. We break this trend line, we hit 105 and then going down below 100. Okay, and 100 is still psychologically a threshold, a very mild a threshold, a milestone. $100 per barrel is a psychological level. Actually, we go below. Okay, we are at 97.56. That is way below 100. We open also today lower, mainly because of China. China is one of the biggest, let's say, the biggest consumer of oil in the world. So they import a lot of oil, and if China is going to lock down, they will not use cars, they will not use planes, they will not use oil for building plastics, for example. If you know, guys, plastic is also from oil. So when you have less demand in oil, it will affect the market, and that's what we see from last week. Okay, we moved from 107 to 97. Okay, so it's $10 down. That is almost 10%. This is a big movement. Today we are again minus 4%, $4 loss in the oil. Again, look at this zone, that is the 95, that is still holding. If we go to the weekly, I will just get rid of all that. Yeah, this is the demand here actually at 94 especially. On the overall, okay, for me personally, I believe that still the commodity market and oil especially can hit higher. Okay, can hit to 150, for example. Maybe my expectation is wrong, but I believe that oil can hit 150. Not in the short term, but let's say 6 months from now. What is affecting the short-term market is what, for example, happening in China. Okay, so we can see like a short drop to 90, maybe to 85, but still in the long term, I still believe that we can hit 150. That would be for me, a place probably to take some tech profit and if the price of oil hit 150, it will tell us that the inflation is still rising, still continuing, and that's what we see right now. The inflation still continue. We see the Fed that want to increase interest rate. The dollar is stronger than enough, stronger than before. So yeah, we should look at all. It might be a great indication for us to understand inflation. Again, I repeat, what is happening on the short term, it's only small macro environment moves, especially on China recently. Okay, let's go back to the Forex market. I want to talk about gold. Gold also went down last week, and there might be some opportunity on gold. Here we are. Okay, we are actually in the first zone. That might be an interesting zone to starting to build your position. Okay, if you attend some of my trading, I don't like to put all the lot size in one place, and I like to compound my entry. When I have an idea, of course, gold can goes up from here, but before I can do something like that, and then recover. Okay, so you don't know so much when the price will hit the bottom. Okay, so you want to compound your entry if you have a macro environment view and if you want to hold the position for at least a few days, and the best would be 1 week, even more than that if you want to hold the position. Actually, we are in the zone that may be interesting for short scalp or short-term movement. I have almost all my indication that indicates me to actually starting to open a buy position here. If my stochastics below trend is starting to cross, my Bollinger here is eating. I have a support. I have everything telling me, okay, it might be the end of this long retracement. Might be here a nice point. Thank you, Gabriel, for coming. Thank you. Have a nice day. Here I have the second zone. That here might be also the main important zone for me to compound my entry, and I will be allocate almost all my entry to that zone. So here, if I want to hold a position, I can probably open, let's say, 30% of my risk that I want to allocate, and I will allocate 70% here if it goes down. So if it goes up from here, I actually would be earning 30% of what I wanted. And of course, the best scenario for me would be to make a shorter move to the below demand zone and then going up. Okay, this would be for me the best scenario as a trader, as I want to attract the best price to going in the market. Talking about a macro environment and macro side, I still believe that gold can hit again all-time high. It's still an edge against inflation. Okay, as you know, when there is a big inflation in the market, gold in the long term is tending to increase in terms of value. In the short term, I don't see the oil starting to end down. So what's happening in China? China is also using a lot of gold, but to make some jewelry and stuff. But again, there are more other, let's say, other specification that gold would be more influent. It's not China, it's inflation, it's the dollar, for example. It's hedge against the stock market. When we have like a big drop in the stock market, you want to hedge yourself on the commodity market and especially on gold. Actually, China is bringing some movement in the downside in hold assets, but I believe when the market will understand what are the situation, we will find a clear picture of what the market can bring us in terms of opportunity. Okay. Yeah, we can also expect, like in the next months or in the next the next months, to expect the gold trading in a range. Okay. Personally, I don't see the oil closing below 1,900. Okay, if the gold like close condor here at 1,800, this will be meaning for us that the inflation, we start finishing the end of the inflation, or what's going on in the stock market. And I don't believe this is the end. Okay, this is actually in the middle, probably the beginning. Inflation generally holds during a few years and not only a few months or on 1 year. Okay, generally it's more longer than that to develop. Okay, this is what I think about gold. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the yen. Okay, the yen also is very interesting. Dollar yen especially. Okay, maybe here there is not. Okay, it's perfect here. Okay, this is the weekly chart on the dollar yen. I also showed this chart last week. Again, personally, I don't like to open here, for example, a buy position. Okay, we have come from 100 to 128. Here, opening a sell would be very difficult to manage. Okay, when you have like on H4 only moving up, very difficult. we have still this flag going on. Okay, we have disruption channel creating. It's like a flag. It's actually a flag. It's not like a flag. It's a flag. So any breakout below would be indicating us that we might starting to create a position on the short side. And if we break above, above, we will be continuing the ascension in the yen. Again, I want to repeat that if yen cross 130, the Bank of Japan will come and making some intervention in the market. We are not so close. We are not so far. Sorry, but again, they want to let the market doing his stuff, and the Bank of Japan will check on the daily basis what's happening here. Yeah. There are still some supply on the monthly chart. You see 99.7 here. This is a zone we didn't reach until 99.7, and here 128. The last time we see the dollar yen at that price, it was at the beginning of the 21st century. You see, 2000, the year 2000. Okay, we crossed actually the 2016 supply, also the 2026 here, 26. Very difficult to make anything. And if you want to make a buy, okay, you don't want to come at the end of the party, okay? You don't want to be the last guy to come at the party. So if you want to open a buy, wait for a clear retracement, not only a few candles on the M30. Okay, this will not indicate me that I want to go long. We can expect higher volatility, higher movement, either on the long side or either on the downside. Yeah, options would be interesting to trade on the dollar yen, especially right now. Maybe you want to talk about any pairs, guys, on the chat. I don't know, pound. We didn't talk about the pound. New Zealand CAD. Australian also. You know, there was a big move on the Australian dollar also. Pound dollar. Okay, Maurice. I will talk about the pound dollar just after. Well, let's talk about the major pairs, and maybe we can go to some cross pairs at the end. Yeah, this is the Aussie dollar actually, holding actually the demand. Okay, from its high of very extended move, it's like a big head and shoulders here. You have the first, you have the second, you have the head here, but it's still holding. You see that the neckline is still holding on the daily chart. Yeah. Again, for me, I don't want to sell this type of market. Okay, it would be from your suicide. Okay, you come from here to the top to the bottom. We are actually high. I use Bollinger Bands to indicate me the volatility and the difference between the average price of the asset and the volatility of the asset here. This is actually the average approximately. It's 0.74343, and the price stands at, let's say, 270 pips below the average standard. Okay, so there is high volatility on one side. Okay, the market generally have ups and downs. It cannot go straight away to where you want. Here on the H4, as a scalper, it was already a nice movement to take. Look, stochastics below trend is starting to cross. Also, a lot of indication to make a long on that side. Again, on the daily chart, we can go to a lower place. Let's say to this one here. It's actually reacting because of the rate, its interest rate in US. I believe that if I see this type of movement here, it's generally indicate that the dollar index is pushing up. I just want to check what's happening here on the dollar index. Yeah, it's made a nice push at the opening today. Actually starting to slow down. Yeah, it's still continuing its high volatility. Yeah, Canada, the dollar index still pushing up. Might hit 102. Maybe respect this zone, but if not, we can go to a long period of the dollar. Yeah, I don't believe that we can cross this. I just want to share you the dollar index here. Don't want to show this. Okay, this is the dollar index on the monthly chart. You see this zone here at the 102. 102, yeah, 102 is the supply zone. And actually starting to touch and to move to that place. On the daily chart, you see we have this uptrend channel that hold from beginning of June, and we actually like having an increase in terms of volatility. It's like very sharp. You see the movement on the upside is very sharp, almost no retracement to the average, and we touch this supply zone. We might have some reaction. That's why I don't want to make a buy here, for example. In my opinion, that's still how my psychology effect and how I see the market and how I want to react as a trader. This is for me like a classic sell on the dollar index, but also the dollar pairs. Okay, this might be the euro dollar, this might be the Aussie dollar, this might be the pound dollar. Of course, I have to check technically what's happening on each of the pairs. But still, we are actually coming to the extreme point of the dollar index. And if I move back to the US dollar, is actually touching this zone. We can touch the bottom, but for me, if I manage this type of trade here, I would put the tight stop loss, let's say below the low here or below maybe the pin bar here, and let it run, and not allocate a lot of risk for that trade, as the dollar is very strong. But that would be for me a good speculative trade on that part. Let's move on. Pandora here. You see, on the Pandora is much more difficult to find an extreme point. Okay, we are actually here at the middle, not of nowhere, but it's approximately the average from 2016 until now. Okay, you see the market went down. Let's say, so much pips we have here. We have like 1,200 pips, and then move up to 1,300 pips, and then goes back, trade at the average, move back a little bit. So we are actually in average. If you have like an indicator that shows you the average price from 2016, it would be approximately the zone. Okay, so in the weekly chart, it's very difficult for me to, let's say, making any action. Okay, I personally, as a trader, like to find extreme point to have a high risk reward. It's also very easy to manage. But when in the weekly chart you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't want to do anything, and that's what I think here on the weekly chart. Of course, if I go to lower time frame, I would find let's say some demand, some movement to make. But here on the daily, even on the daily, there is like nothing to take care about. It's actually crossed below this zone here. Okay, it's much more yeah, this is the Pandora on the H1. If I go to the euro dollar, you will see the difference. Okay, you will see the difference. Maybe even on the H1. Okay, this is the euro. You will see how the pound is weak and how the euro starting to find some recovery here. You have here the, okay, I will close here the pound, the yen, and look at that. Okay, this is the H1 on Pandora. This is the H1 on euro dollar. You see that the recovery, we are actually starting to come back to the supply, to the opening. Okay, the euro is starting to be a bit stronger than before. The pound is very weak here. The pound is very weak. It's still for me like an overextended movement here. Yeah, at least we should maybe recover a little bit to that place, maybe to the supply here. I don't believe the pound is so weak that I don't believe we can go back again to this supply. Maybe we can, but managing this would be very difficult. And still, like I explained on the weekly, for me, we are in the average. We might have a bounce here because we're in the average, but this will not, for me personally, have an indication for going long. I all the time prefer to go with the extreme point, like here or like here, just below, maybe even below to this demand. Bye, Samuel. Thank you for coming. Have a nice week. This is for the pound. Maybe you have an opportunity, Maurice, if you find any, if you want to bring with you ID1 now and explain what do you think about the pound dollar. Okay, if you told me to show a little bit the pound, it's maybe because you have some ID in mind. We want, I'm doing a short update, but we want in the next session, maybe the next month, bringing some traders to talk actually with the host of the trading room. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Saul, sometimes it's Yaniv, you know, to discuss together about the pairs. Actually, I talked alone from the beginning. So yeah. Looking too short. Okay, that's not bad because you are in the trend, but it depends. It's good to short the pound, but as a trader, it's very important to know where you will short. Okay, if I go to lower time frame, you see this year might be like for me the main supply, but we are very far. We are maybe like 100 pips below. We are 250 pips below. On M5, if I want to short, maybe it would be maybe this zone. This is great consolidation zone, starting to move down. So this might be the short if you want to short on the short time frame. I agree with 5 minute short. Okay, that's fine. Maybe is it FIBO retracement or let me check. Generally, okay, if we take here, what is that? Not FIBO. Insert. Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, I don't know why FIBO is not so much working, but might be like a 26 FIBO level. I don't know. Even below, I don't know. Barry, would you answer my question if you have an idea? If it's something about the program, I invite you to ask the help desk team, Discord channel, by email. Actually, I cannot check your account. Okay, guys, we approach the end of the session. I just want to maybe explain or show a last pair, maybe the dollar CAD. That, you know, guys, the dollar CAD is negatively correlated with oil. That's what we see actually here. Yeah. And still, it respects very good to this demand. First bounce, second bounce. We are actually approaching the top of the zone. Here, the management here of the trade should be very careful. Okay, you see it all the time, some pin bar that can take your stop loss and coming back. So you should be very ready for those type of movement. Here, I would prefer to wait on the daily chart. The demand reacted well. We actually didn't approach the supply. We see probably this type of movement because of oil. Okay, when oil is going down. Okay, so oil here is going down. Dollar CAD went up according to the correlation with oil. Jules, sorry, I joined too late. Thanks, Ruben. Thank you for coming. Yeah, that seems interesting. We see at the opening of all went down sharply. Here we see dollar CAD going up also sharply, respected to the demand zone. Nothing new. Okay, that's something we knew. We know already. I think that's it for today, guys. So I want to thank all the people that were with me today. I wish you a nice trading week. Be careful. Stay with your own risk management. I will just close the. Be careful this week. Okay, some movement in China according to COVID. It may affect the stock market, the dollar. So yeah, I wish you a nice week. We stay in touch and see you tomorrow, guys. Bye everyone. Bye bye.